Hey, it's Kathy from the Merrimack Public Library. Welcome to another segment of IYKYK, and this week we are talking about laundry. I'm in my kitchen right now, so we're gonna make our own laundry detergent, and then I'll show you how to use it. So what you're going to need to make this all-natural laundry detergent is some borax, which you can get at the supermarket. I had some from slime making, so that's why it's in a Tupperware container, but you can get it at pretty much any grocery store. Some baking soda, and then a bar of soap. So I'm using some all-natural soap, but you can use whatever soap you have or whichever soap you like. And then if you want to add some scents, I have some essential oils, but that's totally optional. So we're going to start by turning our baking soda into washing soda, and that is what is going to activate in the washing machine to lift the dirt and the stains out. So we're going to take a cup of this baking soda, which would be easier if it wasn't so humid because my baking soda is all clumped up. And to be fair, I have no idea how much detergent this recipe is going to make. So it's going to be a little bit of an experiment. So we're fighting with a box of baking soda. Close enough. And we're going to preheat the oven all the way up to 400 degrees. And then we're going to put the baking soda onto a baking sheet. And we're going to spread it out just a little bit. So what's going to happen to turn this into washing soda is just a chemical reaction. So it's really important that the baking soda gets all the way to 400 degrees. So we're going to leave it in our oven for an hour to make sure that that chemical reaction has time to take place. And we're going to stir our baking soda a couple of times. So our oven is not heated all the way, but since it's going to be in there for so long, I'm not super worried about it. So let's get our baking soda into the oven. And I'll go get my phone so I can set a timer. And then while we have that going, we're going to grate our bar of soap. So you might have like a stand-up grater with all the different textures. I don't. I have one of these. And we're going to grab our bar of soap and we're just going to grate it until the whole thing is in the bowl. Okay, so I've been grating down my soap for just about 15 minutes. And you might find that it takes you more or less time. It'll depend on how big your bar of soap is and how dense it is. Or maybe you decide to half this recipe and do half a bar of soap. But I am getting down to the part where I'm going to have to stop grating before I grate my fingers to the bone. So you can see it did get me quite a lot of soap and it smells great. So in just a few minutes, as soon as I'm done grating this, we're gonna take our baking soda out of the oven and we're gonna give it a stir, and hopefully we'll see that this chemical reaction is starting to happen, but maybe we won't see any difference at all. This is an experiment. So let me go ahead and do that, and let's see if there's any difference. Okay, so I'm just gonna give it a shuffle with a fork, and I can definitely tell that it's drying out and getting a little bit more coarse. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for it to continue drying out. So I'm gonna just smooth this back down and put it back in. And then we'll be back in about 25 minutes to give it another stir. Okay, so we are just getting ready to stir this up one last time. There's like 10 or 15 minutes left before the timer goes off. And you can see we're starting to get like a very sort of crusty texture on the top. It definitely does feel a little bit more coarse. And it's sort of clumping up. So I'm going to put this back in for the last couple minutes, and then I'm going to let it cool off, and then we will meet back here to make our laundry soap. Okay, so our baking soda has turned into washing soda from its time in the oven, and I've given it some time to cool. So now we're going to mix up our laundry detergent. And this is actually technically laundry soap because it's all natural and it uses fats to lift out dirt and stains, whereas detergents are synthetic and they use a lot of chemicals. So I'm going to add my cup of washing soda into my grated soap, hopefully without spilling it all over the counter. Mostly successfully without spilling it all over the counter. Okay. And then we're going to add a cup of borax. So you can see that this is much grainier than the rest of our ingredients. Okay. So I'm going to add a cup of the borax, and then we are going to stir up our laundry soap. And then I'm going to add a little bit of essential oil so that the scent is a little bit stronger. My soap that I had grated up was lemon scented, so I'm adding some lemon and some lemongrass essential oils. But you can skip this step if you want it to be unscented, or if you think the scent of your soap is strong enough. It's all up to you. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of an extra mix, and then our laundry soap will be ready to use. So I'm making sure that there's no clumps of borax left, because again, the humidity will make these powders a little bit clumpy. But it looks like it's pretty consistently mixed. So I'm going to get this in a container, and then we will go do some laundry.
Okay, so we've had a change of venue. I am at my parents' house using their washer and dryer. So now we're going to get into how the heck do I do my own laundry? So we have our laundry detergent that we've just made, and I have a scoop. You're going to want a tablespoon. So you could use a measuring spoon. This scoop is 2 tablespoons, so I'm just going to fill it up halfway. So you're going to open your washing machine, and you're going to put your clothes in, and you can see that it's just about filled halfway. So if you look at the circle, it's just about half a circle worth of clothes. And then the other half is open space so that the laundry can tumble and be agitated. And that's what's gonna suds up the laundry soap and clean your clothes. And it's also a good idea to try and split your wash into dark colors and then lighter colors. Just because if you have bright colors like a bright red, or if you have anything new that hasn't been washed before, you will have dye leak into the water, and then you can turn a white shirt pink, or, you know, something can be washed next to jeans and then it sort of comes out this dingy blue. So try to keep lights and darks, but you don't need to separate it out by like every single color unless you have a lot of clothing that you're trying to clean. So I have my dark laundry in the washer about halfway full. I'm going to swing the door shut, and then I'm going to open up this little segment, and this is where the detergent goes in. So I'm going to fill my scoop about halfway, and then it's going to go right in where it says detergent. And then if you wanted to use fabric softener, you could, but fabric softener is a little bit of a conspiracy, so you don't need it. And then your dials are going to look probably a little bit different, but I'm going to set it to I'm going to set it to a cold wash because there's not really any reason to wash your clothes in hot water unless you're trying to shrink them. And because it's more eco-friendly to do a cold wash. And then I'm just going to press this start button. And you can see that it's going to take 54 minutes, supposedly. The door is locked, which means it's about to fill with water. And our laundry is all set. Okay, so my load of wash is done. And now it's time to put it in the dryer. So we're going to just transfer everything right over from one to the other. And I always like to give the washer drum just a spin to make sure there's no socks hiding, because they'll get sort of clung to the side with the spinning. And then with our clothes in the dryer, we're just going to turn it on. If you have dryer sheets that you like to use, you can. You can also just put some essential oil on a washcloth and throw that in to give your clothes a nice scent. And it, anything wool, a wool washcloth or like a wool dryer ball will just cut down the static so that when you pull your clothes out, they're not all clinging to each other. So we have our knob, and I'm going to go right to the star because that's sort of the preferred setting. So I'm just going to twist the knob to the standard setting and then hit the start button, and there we go. Okay, we are back. Our laundry is done, nice and toasty. So I always recommend that you should fold your laundry immediately after the dryer is done, because that way you can fold it and get it in a drawer or get it on a hanger before it gets wrinkled, and that way no one's nagging you that your shirt is wrinkled. So take advantage of your clothes being warm, fold them up or get them put away, and then your laundry is totally done. Thank you so much for joining me for IYKYK Laundry Edition. I hope you found it interesting, learned something. Let me know what you think. If you have any ideas for other IYKYK subjects, we are definitely looking for more ideas to keep this going, and we will see you soon with something else. Bye.